Hello. Ignacy Trzewiczek, Portal Games, and this is Spiel Digital Day 3. Very excited to be with you today, and we are starting a long day for us, hopefully long and exciting day for you. A ton of streams, a ton of events dedicated for you, and we start today with the key story of Portal Games at Essen. We are going to discuss all good times. Let me check if we are live. Hello, good morning, says James. James, as far as I remember, you are from USA. That means that it should be like middle of the night where you live. How are you? How was your Essen? Did you find something interesting? I spent yesterday a couple of hours browsing the Spiel Digital website, browsing different games and titles, checking teasers. The best teaser I found was from the Polish company Granna for the game about the dwarfs, and the title of the game is impossible to remember, so I have no clue what is the title of the game, but find the publisher Granna, and they have a dwarf game, and the trailer is amazing. We are waiting for people to come, to wake up, to start the day. Essen 2020, very weird, very strange, very different from the regular one. On the one hand, of course, we all miss halls. We miss buying these games and unboxing them on the fly. On the other hand, it's a perfect show for introverts when you can sit at home and slowly and silently browse through the catalog, browse through all the booths, and check videos at the moment that you want to do that. Audio is fine. Not, I'm from UK. So James, okay, so you are fine. Yes. And Martin says it's Dwergar. The game is Dwergar. Very strange name. During the first day of this Essen, on Thursday, I did a seminar about my first Essen, and that was a terrifying story of our adventures at Essen 2007. And today I'm going to go with the key stories and behind the scenes information about all the other Essens we did. I have for you today, for this seminar, 90 minutes, so we will have to finish at 11:30, because at 11:30 I have to run because I have an interview on different channels, so I will have to run. But this 90 minutes is for you, so I hope you will enjoy. And after that, on 12, during noon, we have a special guest, Ignacy Trzewiczek, talking about the Book of Adventures, the upcoming Kickstarter for Robinson Crusoe, and then we have many upcoming events. I'm going to discuss a detective, and we are going to have Q&A with Ignacy Trzewiczek, and 51st State, the model gameplay, etc. Everything is working, so I think we don't need to wait. It's 10:04. We can wait 1 more minute for more people to come, and we are ready to start. By the way, please visit our booth and Spiel Digital. We have a ton of promotions, ton of special prices, sales, some last copies of games, metal coins in our offer, games for 5 or 10 euro, like all the titles that we have to move from the warehouse. So if you want to grab the good price, if you want to grab the great game in a very good price, check out Portal Games booth and grab them. And without no further ado, the audio is fine, so we can start. As I said, I discussed already 2007, so we are moving to 2008. The game we released in 2008 at Essen was called Witchcraft. I have with me the copy of the game. This is how it looked like. It was an abstract game. The theme was 2 teams of sorcerers fighting each other, but to be honest, it is a very abstract game. This is the game I designed with Michael Oracz. In 2007, we went to Essen with Neuroshima Hex, and a year later we went with Witchcraft, design by me and Michael Oracz. To be honest, I don't remember much from this Essen. I don't know why. I have only few small memories. The most important information about this Essen, what was important during this show, was that Witchcraft needs to be reprinted. Says Krumholz, we are going to do a Kickstarter for the new edition at some point. So Witchcraft will get a new love from Portal Games, but this is the future. So be with me now, because now we are talking about the key story. It's 2006, before Portal Games Exhibitor, and organization of designers and publishers from Czech goes to Essen as Czech board games, and they present their Through the Ages, and the game of course becomes super popular. You absolutely heard about Through the Ages. It makes a splash in the board games industry. 2007, some people from Czech board games leave this organization and found a company, Czech Games Edition. Czech Games Edition becomes a company, and they go to the Essen with their game called Galaxy Tracker. 2007, Czech Games Edition debuts in Essen with Galaxy Tracker. Ignacy and Portal Games debuts with Neroshima Hex. And back then there was many people in the internet, on Board Game Geek and on different sites, discussing these new publishers, these new designers, these new ideas from Eastern Europe, and me, Portal Games and Czech Games Edition, and Peter Murmak and Radak Fatil were discussed together, like these Eastern Europe designers. And after Essen 2007 finished, I contacted Peter Murmak from Czech Games Edition and told him, hey, we can help each other, we can help build a hype and buzz for our games. You have this amazing Through the Ages and Galaxy Tracker. I have Neroshima Hex. We can help each other. And I suggested him that we'll contact Essen Spiel and ask Essen Spiel to put us next to each other next year, in 2008. And Essen Spiel, which is very nice and very kind for all these independent small publishers, they said, okay, if you want, we can be together. And since then, since 2008, me, Portal Games, and Peter from Czech Games Editions, we were helping each other for years. We were always next to each other at the booth. We were always marketing that, hey, you can find us next to Czech Games Editions. And they were saying, you can find us next to Portal Games. And all these geeks who were looking for the great games, gamer games, they were coming and they were buying their game and our game. It was working very well. So this is what I remember from 2008, that it was first year we were next to Czech Games Edition, and it was working for us very well. We became friends with their team. We know each other now for years, and we love them, and I do believe that they love us. So this is a friendship for years. Witchcraft became super not popular. The game didn't make any success. Barely we were able to sell these 1,000 copies that we produced over the upcoming months, and the game was never reprinted, never successful. Hopefully these days, when we do a new edition reprint with the new marketing and better artwork, better components, it will be successful. Here Marek is making fun of me presenting pictures with Ignacy that has a hairs on his head, so this is amazing. Remembers Crazy Years, Galaxy Tracker, Space Adder, CG. Exactly that. These are these days. So our booth was very small, but it was next to the Czech Games Edition, and we were helping each other, and they had the same small booth as we, and that's it. So as I said, I don't remember much from these days. Oh no, this is Ignacy at his best. I remember that we were approached by Board Game Geek, and back then Board Game Geek were two people, Derek and Scott, and Derek came and asked for the demo of Witchcraft. They were doing podcast from the Essen, so there was no camera, there was just a microphone, and he was playing against me, and I destroyed him. Like, I destroyed him in a few moves. I won the game, and it was terrible marketing to play against one of the most influential people in the industry back then and destroy him while he was recording podcast. But this is all I remember from that year. Here is a Michael Orach signing a copy for somebody. So Mary says she cannot stop laughing. Yes, we were young and we were pretty. 2008. Let's move on to 2009, because these photos are embarrassing. Good morning, Komirovsky. Good morning. 2009. Do you remember what we had? 2009. 2009 we had Stronghold. I have this box with me. Marek is showing you pictures from the booth. The same small booth. Yep, maybe like that. No, like that. Like that. No, like that. It'll be fine. Good morning. 2009 Stronghold, and for the first time in the history, we have a huge buzz for our release. I wrote back then 12 game designer journals about designing Stronghold. Back then nobody was doing that. Today it's very popular that the designers write game designer journals. Back then it was a new thing, and I wrote 12 pieces of stories, and for 12 weeks it was published on Board Games News website. Back then there was a website, boardgamesnews.com, and everybody was excited about this Stronghold, and for the first time we felt that, oh my god, everybody's asking about the game, everybody's looking for this game, we are rock stars, we are amazing. And we brought this Stronghold, and indeed we were very, very successful with the release. We released at once the French edition with yellow, we released the German edition done by ours, and the English edition done by ours. And during Essen Spiel, for the first time, we had partners from different publishers from different countries asking us for the license, asking us for what's happening? Asking us for rights for the game. We finally decided to go with Valet Games. With Stronghold did Valet Games. It was a terrible decision on our side, but for the first time, what are we watching?
Photos from Essen 2004.
This is from, I guess, this is from the press room where all the games from that year were shown to the press, and we were there doing some reports. Monica, good morning. Thanks for the stream. Absolutely, Monica, we are here for you. So this is it. 2009. Once again, I don't remember much. There was a ton of stress. I just remember that there was so many people asking us for the. Do we have photos from our booth, not from other publishers?
I don't know.
For sure, I saw them yesterday when I was checking. There was photos of our booth and me and our games. So you definitely need to find them. Okay, so Marek says we have a movie from that year, so let us watch a movie. And we didn't check this movie before, so I have no clue what will happen now, and I'm already sorry if this will be crazy. So back then, no Facebook, no social media, no Instagram, but still I had a camera. I guess there was some very, very crappy camera, and so you can see our. This is Ignacy explaining the games, young Ignacy, and as you can see, somebody is interested. This is Anthony Rubo, by the way, designer of the games, and our small booth and our team, and my English back then was even more terrible than these days, but everybody was excited, and I was discussing this game. I remember being extremely tired after this session. There was so many demos run. The booth was very small, but so many people were asking for the demos. So great things happened back then. This is the same movie that we already watched. Do you have other movies? Hello, DJ Marek. Rico is making fun, I guess, from my look back then. And this is a look of the halls back then. So we are now feeling like we are at Essen. We are like real Essen. So if you miss the halls, if you miss the atmosphere, here we are at our stream. as you can see, we were amazing vloggers, and it's really strange why we didn't make any success back then. We are moving to the next year, I guess, because our social media appearance back then was quite terrible. No. So 2009, as I said, a huge success for us. I don't remember much besides the fact that we had a great success. We signed the English edition, and it was quite a thing for us. 2010 is the year we are releasing 51st State, and for the 51st State, and do I have a box? Yes, do I have a box? For the 51st State, there is quite a few things I can discuss, because I remember much more about that. So first of all, at the very beginning, we planned to. Can I have a pause right now? Thank you. The game that was supposed to be released at Essen 2010 was called Rust and Dust, designed by Michael Orach, and it was our plan to have a card game for World of Neuroshima designed by Michael Orach. Michael had prototype. The prototype was not working. There was some problems with the prototype, and in a one split of the second, just like that, I discussed this in my articles on my blog, I designed 51st State, bam, and it was ready, and it worked from very beginning. So suddenly there was a huge shift, huge change, and instead of going with Rust and Dust, that wasn't working, we went for Essen with 51st State, the card game. I remember these times very well, and I love these times, playtesting, having fun, having playtesters in different cities in Poland, a very positive energy. People in Poland, the whole fandom, board gaming fandom, loved the prototype when I was showing at different conventions, and everybody was rooting for us, everybody was cheering for us, and this photo is from Gen Con, not from the Essen. Finally, we went with 51st State. With 51st State, we had a major problem. The game was printed with mistake. There was one missing token in the game, so one of the cards was providing a token, and this token was not printed in the box. It was terrible. It was a mistake. It was my mistake. When I was handing the prototype to the artwork department, I didn't give them this token. So they didn't put it on the sheet. They didn't create it, and that was a mistake. That was a token that I never used in my playtesting. So that's why I didn't have the copy of this token. So that's why they didn't do it. But yet, of course, players were furious that they are buying game and there is no token and it's terrible. And Ignacy, that is me, went crazy, yelling at customers, yelling at players, yelling at them that they don't need this stupid token. They should give me a break. They should not ask for replacement. They should not make any buzz and any negative energy, because the game is amazing and they should shut up. That was a terrible marketing. There was a terrible public relations. There was a terrible, on my side, scandal started. More and more people complained. More and more people were saying that this game has an issue. And finally, my distributor, my Polish distributor, Rebel Games, their owner told me, Ignacy, shut the fuck up, start saying sorry, start saying that you are sorry that you fucked up, and tell everybody that you will ship to them this token. So I shut up, I start saying sorry, and we printed this token, and after Essen we shipped this missing token to everybody who bought the game at Essen. So it was a terrible cost for us. It was a terrible operation as you know, people in Essen are from all these different countries, from France, from Spain, from Italy, from Brazil, from Korea, from all over the world. And we were shipping these tokens all over the world. The cost was huge. But the lesson I learned, if you make a mistake, say sorry. Don't yell at the customer. This is not good policy. If you made a mistake, say you are very sorry, fix the mistake, and hopefully hope for people to forgive you. Very harsh lesson. I should never yell at the customers, but we survived. Hopefully nobody remembers that furious Ignacy yelling at the customers. And now I'm in a much different mood when I discuss with the customers. So good lesson. 51st State became super popular. It started the whole line of games, as you know today. 51st State was one of the first games that during Essen, publishers from different countries were fighting for the rights. We were literally had bidding, that we had a one business meeting with the one publisher in America, and then different publisher in America, then different publisher in America, and they were all bidding what they promised to us to, in terms of the print run, in terms of the royalties, in terms of the financial conditions. For the first time, I felt like, oh my God, we had such hot title that they are bidding for the rights. We chose the highest bidder, which was a terrible decision. Because it was a company that had no experience in board games. They were just starting to do board games. They made a huge print run, but they had not a very good distribution, and then the game went on sale. So I got my money. I earned quite a money for this deal, but it was not good for the long run for 51st State in America, because this publisher was not supporting the title, because they changed the policy and then they stopped doing. Oh, we have a Mary. So everybody was making fun of me. Can we have Mary? This is how Mary looked like.
She's gonna kill me.
Yeah, she's gonna kill you, but yes. Somebody was making fun of me, so here we are making fun of Mary. We all looked young back then. 51st State in Essen, Ignacy, Mary, and my team, very small booth. Next to us every single year, Czech Games Edition. I don't remember which game they had back then, but maybe you can see it in these videos. Crusoe says that this is a video from the 1 year later, and Ignacy has the same sweater. If it works, why change it? I guess it was amazing sweater. So, chat says goodbye, Marek, you are dead. So that was Essen International Gamers Award.
Yeah.
From the 2009. Yes. Yeah. 51st State, great game. We had as a volunteers my playtesters. So our playtesters from Poland went with us to Essen, and they were doing demos, so they knew the game very well. So I had a great volunteers and a great time. Do we have any other videos from that year, or we are done?
I think so.
Oh, so this is one of the playtesters of the game. Who, as I said, he went with us to present the game at the show. So that was fun. And we see that people were buying, people were interested. Young Ignacy, small portal games, but we already had a good hype. More Mary. And that was our Hiroshima Hex 2007, Witchcraft 2008, Stronghold 2009, and 51st 2010. Fourth Essen, we felt very confident back then at Essen. We were small company from Poland, but we were very confident. And here we see, you see guys Neuroside, my employee, and what you can see. So we were very hungry for the whole show. So we made a map and we made a knowledge in which booth they are giving away Haribo bears or candies or any other sweets, and we were browsing this, and this is package we get. This is before I was getting cookies. So we were sending our volunteers to this booth to steal these candies and these Haribo bears, and we were eating them for the whole show. So I was stupid back then. Farida says, hello everybody, have a great spiel. I agree. Yeah, so 2010, 51st State, and Mary.
Now I'm gonna die for sure.
Let's move to 2011. 2011 is Pret-a-Porter, which I don't have with me. I don't know why.
And I don't have also.
So back then, 2011, Pret-a-Porter. We don't have any footage from 2011, so we will not show you anything. Once again, it's hard to believe. But these are times before Facebook, before Instagram, before iPhones, before all these jazz that we use today, and there's not much documentation from these times. And as you can see, even in 2009, I was using camera to do some vlogs to put them on. Back then we were using Vimeo platform, not YouTube. And so I always wanted to share with you my passion. I always wanted to share some photos and videos and vlogs. So even in 2009, with small camera, I was recording. 2010, I was recording. 2011, we don't have any footage. I don't know why. 2011 is a Pret-a-Porter, and this is a interesting story. I have two anecdotes from that time. Marek is living on the edge. Good morning, Darren. Hello, great to see you. Nice memories. We released Pret-a-Porter in Poland before Essen. So 2011 is Pret-a-Porter at Essen, but 2010 it is released in Poland. The game was very successful in Poland, great reviews, everybody was praising the game, and we decided that we want to do international edition and release it at Essen, and that's what happened. And for international edition, we changed a little bit this game, and instead of text on the cards that explain how the card works, we went for the iconography. So the game is language independent. So Pret-a-Porter edition at Essen was language independent, no text on the cards. And the funny thing is that I forgot to tell that my volunteers were players from Poland who knew Pret-a-Porter very well, but they played Pret-a-Porter on Polish edition with the text on the cards. I forgot to mention this small tweak, this small change. So we are at the show, the first day of the show, they open the boxes to start the demo tables, to prepare demo tables, and suddenly I hear the voice of them yelling. And they look at the components of the game, they look at the cards, they see some icons, they don't know these icons, they don't know how this game works, they don't know how these cards work, and they approach me and say, Ignacy, you forgot to mention that you changed the components of the game. We don't understand these icons, how we should demo the game. And for the first 2 hours of the show, my volunteers were learning Pret-a-Porter, learning all these icons, learning and adjusting to the new edition at Essen, so they can finally teach somebody else. So there was this one small thing that I forgot to mention to my team. That was a small mistake. It was quite funny. With Pret-a-Porter, the thing that was not funny was that the games arrived to the show on Thursday. So for everybody to understand how the Essen works, you ship the games, you transport the games to Essen on Tuesday or Wednesday, most likely on Tuesday. So all these pallets of games are arriving to the halls. On Wednesdays you are building your booth, and on Thursday the show starts. Wednesday night we still haven't have games. What happened? The truck with the games that was going to Essen has some accident, some problem. The car was broken, and the games, the whole piles of games, were in the middle of nowhere. The truck was broken, and we had to find a new truck, connect these trucks together, move the product, and forward to Essen. The truck arrived, believe it or not. All these stories I'm describing always sounds like made up, but it's not made up. An hour before the show, on Thursday morning, the trucks arrives to Germany, and we are getting this. There is no way you can use now any carriers and cars, anything to bring the product. So we were running to the parking lot. We were grabbing a couple of copies of the game, and we were bringing them to the booth. So the first hour before the show opened was a marathon of running from parking lot to our booth, from parking lot to our booth, from parking lot to our booth, bringing games last minute. That is not perfect timing. This is terrible timing, but we made it in time, which is the last moment delivery for Essen, and the show started, and we had the games. And it was ridiculous, that was terrible, that was so stressful. And then they open these games, volunteers, and they see the icons, and they yell, we cannot play, we cannot teach, this is terrible. The one story from that show concerns Mary, and the story for me started later, next year, 2011. 2011, I was in Modena, in Italy. This is a great convention in Italy, and I was there with Mary, my wife, and we are going through the halls, and suddenly 3 Italian players stop, point at my wife, and yell, "That's you! You beat us at Essen!" And I look at my wife, I look at these dudes, I say, "What?" And they say, "She was kicking us and she was beating us," and I'm, "What?" And then everybody bursts in the laughs, of course, and they explain me, and then my wife explains me that she was explaining them Pret-a-Porter during Essen 2010, and they were not listening to her, and they were making fun of her, and they were like not super focused, and at some point she lost her temper and started hitting them, so they shut up and started listening, and they said never before at any show, at any booth, demo person, the volunteer, started beating the players and yelling at them, and they will remember it for years, and they bought the game, and they love our company, and we are crazy. And that's Essen 2010, our volunteers, my wife, was beating players in Germany. That's what happened.
So now you know what are waiting for me.
Yeah. Darren asks, which do you think is more difficult, game design from beginning to final product or running a company? That's interesting question. Of course, I think I'm pretty successful with designing games. I create a couple of good games, and I'm pretty successful with running a company. Of course, these are quite two different difficult tasks. I hated designing games. At some point, I will definitely stop doing that. At this point, I'm also tired of running a company. So both of these tasks exhausted me over the years. So at this point, I'm not super happy with either running a company and having all these troubles and problems to solve, and designing games and having all these troubles and problems to solve. This is always fighting issues and trying to solve the problems, whether you are running a company or designing a game. Mary says in the chat that she's still meeting these guys in Essen sometimes, so I hope she's not beating them again. But yes, this is Portal Games 2010. Back then we felt we are a pretty good, pretty big company. We felt that we can conquer the world, and with the success of Stronghold, with the success of 51st State, with hoping for success of Pret-a-Porter, which didn't happen. You know that we had the last year Kickstarter campaign for Pret-a-Porter, but back then in 2011 there was no success. The game was difficult. The game had a very weird, awkward theme, and we didn't sold out. We had to bring copies back to our offices, and for upcoming months we were trying to sell these copies to distributors. It was not very successful financially, Essen for us. So I think we are ready to move to. You have anything else to show? Which year is this?
2012.
This is 2012, yes. So we are moving to year 12, 2012, the release of Robinson Crusoe.
And look here.
Did you see it? There's our game so far, and
So this
there's a list and the awards.
I was always this is my thing. This is my thing, bragging about our achievements, showing that the company has a like CV of well-designed games. I'm proud of what we are achieving over the years. So exactly every single year on the banners of Essen, I was reminding, we are the company who did Hiroshima Hex. We are the company who did Witchcraft. We are the company who did Stronghold. I was always saying, hey, it's a long-run marketing strategy. We are designing games over the years. These games are amazing, and you can trust us. Every single year we bring a new great game to the show. So yes, this is exactly Ignacy's marketing. I see that. Follow us. Wait. Back. Follow us on Twitter.
Follow us on Twitter and Facebook.
Hello, 2012. Ignacy is on Twitter. Social media beast. Facebook, do you hear that? Why you freeze my account? I was on Twitter and I was on Facebook on 12/12. Good morning, Tobago. Hello. Ignacy singing my copy of Robinson Crusoe. So Rico, I guess we met then. Eric, Captain Ling is here. I guess I will sleep later. Hello, Captain. Thank you for your streams yesterday, Captain. I watched a couple of them. Not everything because I was very tired after that, but I watched fragments and it was brilliant. So thank you for that. 2012, Robinson Crusoe. I don't have a copy. I couldn't find a copy. I guess we have it somewhere, but I couldn't. But it was this coffin box Robinson Crusoe, huge box. And here, of course, I have a ton of stories. So are you ready? Take a sip of tea, because stories are coming. The first most important thing that not many of you know before Essen, summer 2012, I had already a prototype of the game. There was already hype starting in the internet because I was recording vlogs about designing this game. You can find them in the internet. Ignacy talking about designing the game and how this game is amazing, and the hype was growing and people were getting interested in the game. And Z-Man Games, who was publishing our Narushima Hex, asked us if they can check the game, if they can check prototype. So I printed prototype during the summer. I sent them files for the rulebook, and they played the game. As you can imagine, rulebooks that Ignacy writes are terrible, you know that. And Z-Man received the prototype version of the rulebook. That was disaster. Nobody could understand how to play the game. So JF, who was working at Z-Man Games back then, contacted me on Skype and said that he thinks that he understands how to play the game, but he would love to have me on a Skype so he can ask me questions about the rules. I said, of course, absolutely, I will be there. So we sat together. He was playing Robinson Crusoe in his office, and I was on the Skype helping him understand the questions. He played the game. I thanked him, and 1 or 2 days later, I received the email that they love the game. This very interesting game, but it's too complex, and they are not interested in doing English edition. That was, of course, a blow for me. That was a very sad email to receive. I was very, very sad, but I understood that him playing this complex, big game on the prototype version, on the prototype rulebook with English Ignacy on a Skype, that probably was a terrible experience. So they said no. So we were preparing for Essen show. We were preparing for Essen show that we need to go to show. We need to make a huge hype. We need to make a huge splash. So we will find another publisher for America, because at the very beginning of September, few weeks before Essen, we have no publisher for American market. Nobody wants this game. But the hype is growing. I'm still recording my vlogs. I'm writing my articles on my blog, Board Games That Tell Stories. I'm using Facebook and Twitter. I'm using social media. I'm active on Board Game Geek. I'm Ignacy at his best, underdog, who wants to hack the system, who wants to make you be interested in this game. And there's more and more people talking about the game. And at some point, late September, after these weeks of me doing marketing, I have an email from Z-Man Game that they reconsidered the game, reconsidered Robinson Crusoe, and they want to publish the English edition. And they want to sign it before Essen. So that was very interesting. That was very interesting thing what happened, that when Z-Man Games saw the hype, when they saw the materials, when they saw everything I was pushing in the internet, they started believing in this game, and they said, let's sign this game before Essen. So Ignacy will not negotiate with somebody else. So Ignacy will not meet any other publisher, and we will not need to bid. So they wanted to secure the rights for the Robinson Crusoe before Essen. Before this was our partner for Narushima Hex, I said yes, let's sign the contract before Essen, and we signed the contract for Robinson Crusoe with Z-Man Games. And when we were going to Essen Spiel, we already knew that we are going to do a Z-Man edition of Robinson Crusoe. You guys see our booth right now. Convoy was released back then as well, my small card game, and Robinson Crusoe, and you see people playing, and we are explaining, and this is Rafał Szyma, our artwork manager these days. The booth is not looking very epic, but we have a great games, and we have young Ignacy, so it's the best, and we have even Mary here. So Essen, do you have a problem? Do you buy this game or not? Because I can kick your ass if you are not buying that. This is Ignacy, Slavic Ignacy. Where is Wilson? Oh, here. Who remembers Wilson from Essen 2012? So for Essen 2012, I prepared very good presentation of the game for Board Game Geek live stream. So Board Game Geek started doing live streams in 2009. Stronghold was my first time live in English, and then 2010, 2011, etc., etc. But for 2012, knowing how important Robinson Crusoe is for me, I prepared very well rehearsed, scripted presentation of Robinson Crusoe. I prepared this handout. So I came to a Board Game Geek booth. I came with my copy of Robinson Crusoe and this ball, Wilson from Tom Hanks movie. And I gave probably one of my best demos of the game ever. And I scheduled this demo for the first day of the show, so it is very early. I was super well prepared, and it went online. People were watching this demo, and the hype that was already huge started going like crazy after this half an hour demo, and suddenly we were stormed by the people wanting to buy the game. Was also very interesting. The person who was, I think, up.
Oh no.
No, I think it is.
Nie rozmawiałeś z Prets wtedy?
When I was doing this demo for Board Game Geek, the person who was with me from Board Game Geek crew, after the demo finished, he said to me, "Dude," when we were off with the microphone, "Dude, I love this game. Keep me a copy at your booth. I have a couple of demos here. I have to stay at the booth, but then I will run to your booth and I will buy it." So I knew I did a good job with running a demo of the game when the person who was interviewing me was asking me to keep him a copy. Here we see, here we will see a picture of that. So I strongly recommend to check it out. Ignacy's terrible English accent, but well prepared, explaining the game and creating the buzz for the game.
That one?
Yep. And I have Wilson, as you can see, and Robinson Crusoe debut. So with Robinson Crusoe we had quite a stressful moment, and for this demo I want to mention one more thing that was very nice, very kind, and I remember that after these many years. Just before this demo started, when I was waiting for my time here, the owner of Zeman Games, Sophie, came to me and said, "Good luck. You're gonna be fine. It's gonna be a great demo. We wish you all the best. We hope for the game for the best. We keep fingers for you." So it was very touching that she remembered that I'm going to do a demo. She approached. She came. She wished me luck with this demo, and the demo went very smooth, very nice. And as I said, the hype for Robinson Crusoe went insane. Robinson Crusoe, of course, arrived in the last moment of the show on Wednesday. I haven't had a chance to see the copy before Essen, so when the boxes arrived to Essen, that was my first time interacting with the box, for the first time seeing the box in real life, and I was terrified because when we were driving to Essen and we were debating about a game and the Essen, etc., somebody in the car asked this very stupid question and terrified the whole crew of Portal Games. And the question was, did we tell manufacturer that the language-dependent elements are cards, rulebook, and scenarios? And we remember that in the specification for the manufacturer, there was very clear information that there are 3 language versions: Polish, English, German, and they should have different cards, different rulebooks. But we might forgot mention that the scenarios also are language-dependent, and they need to know the German scenarios in German copy, English scenarios in English copy, Polish scenarios in Polish copy. So for the next 6 hours of driving, and for the next whole night when we were waiting for the games to arrive, we were terrified that we will open German copy of the game and there will be Polish scenarios. That we will open English edition of the game and there will be a German scenarios. Luckily, manufacturer didn't screw up. They did it right and everything was perfect and the game looked amazing and we were very, very successful. And that was great Essen for us. For the first time, we felt that we are absolutely stars of the Essen. Everybody's discussing our game. Everybody's talking about Portal Games. Everybody's talking about this release. We were hot, 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 and it was so fulfilling moment for us. Darren says, I can tell from the demo that you believed in the game so much, your passion showed through and sold the game. Thank you. I did. So that was 2012. As we mentioned, we also released back then Neuroshima Convoy. And I think this is also the year of releasing Neuroshima Tactics. So not many of you know that Portal Games released, look at this, Neuroshima Tactics. And for Neuroshima Tactics, we had a separate booth in the Hall 6, the hall dedicated for miniatures. We have a separate team running this booth of Neuroshima Tactics. And of course, there is a funny story dedicated to that. So they were, as a separate team for Neuroshima Tactics, they went in a separate car and they went a day later. So we were able to prepare everything earlier and they were supposed to go next day to Essen. And we were waiting for the contact with them and we were waiting, hey, are you arrived? Are you arrived? Where are you? What's happening? And they are saying in the text messages, we are late, we started driving very late, we will be very late, don't wait for us, we arrive late in the night. Some about 1 in the night in the morning or 2 a.m. or 1 a.m. like in the middle of the night, I got a phone call from the Neuroshima Tactics team. So they wake me up. I check what's going on, and they say our car is broken. We are in the middle of a highway. We have no clue where we are. Please don't be afraid, but we will be sleeping here in the car, and we will somehow try to find solution in the morning. And that's not the message that you want to hear from employees, and that's not the message that is comforting. Me trying to imagine them sleeping in the car in the middle of highway, October, Germany. That's freaking cold. That was terrible. But there was the middle of the night. There was no way we can find the help. They even didn't know where they are. Dark all around the place. In the morning, we wake up, we found a solution, we sent the car to help them, we saved them, we brought them to Essen. But this is also the night that I don't want to remember, but I do remember, with my team sleeping in the car in the middle of nowhere. Bad memories. Neuroshima Tactics was not successful. We didn't sell much. The game didn't catch up in Germany. The game didn't catch up in English, and we sold down to the rest of that.
Look what they found.
There's a beautiful. This is the last day. This is the last of the Essen young Ignacy and the team, and we went for sightseeing because one of our employees was a huge nerd for industrial sites, so he was making photos of this industrial thing. That's why he loved Hiroshima Hex. Patrick, oh, here we are. Watched the whole time on Twitter. Love the story how Mary beat up players at Spiel. Patrick is part of this story, so I guess I will mention him at some point. Patrick knows Mary very well, so I believe that he believes that it really happened. That he knows that I'm not making these stories up. Radu asked me, will you please reveal something about the artwork production for the games you present? So this is a very interesting question. For each game we look for the illustrator, knowing what we want to achieve, knowing what style we want to achieve. So for example, with Stronghold box, we hired for the cover, we had a person, the artwork person, who is besides that he's an artist, he's an architect. So we knew that he can create amazing picture of the castle. That this is his thing. So we picked him precisely. With Robinson Crusoe, we were looking for the artist, and we were looking for the cover that tells a story. So as you can see, this is not some random picture here. We have a group of people, like characters. They are looking in the jungle, they are discussing, so this is a cooperative game, they are discussing some plans. The girl is pointing at some mystery locations, and there you find all these different strange buildings and mountains, etc. So for the artwork, for the games, for all the things that we are doing here, there is a lot of thought. Rarely we let illustrators telling them, do whatever you want, just keep it nice. No. They have instructions. We tell them what we expect from the illustration. We know what we want to achieve. So there is a lot of thought in this process. And for most of the games, we look for the different illustrator. Like this is not the case that we have one illustrator that we love and he does everything for us. No, for each project we look for the different person because we need to get a different style of the artwork. So that was a good question. Artwork that tells stories. Exactly true. 2012, so now 2013. Are we ready? 2013. Yep. And what's happening with 2013 is this epic, famous, well-known. Somebody is calling Portal Games. Really? On Saturday, guys. Famous renovation of Essen halls starts. So halls are changed, everybody is moved. We are no longer next to Czech Games Edition. The whole new story starts, and basically since then we start moving to different halls, to different locations, because there is renovation of the halls, and the Essen is changing all the halls over the again and again. So 2013. We are crazy, and to be honest, I cannot explain that. I don't know why it happened, but we are crazy, and we go to Essen with 2 releases. I don't know what I had in mind. We go with Legacy, amazing game, and we go with Theseus from Michael Orage sci-fi game on the spaceship. This Essen is the first Essen we start using volunteers, so the booth is bigger. We have 2 releases, we have many gaming tables. So not only our team, our employees are running demos of the games, but for the first time we have volunteers, and this is the next step in the growth of the company. We have on board the designer of Legacy, Michael Hendricks, who is running demos for us as well. We have a special guest at the booth, Mateusz Bielski, who is illustrator for Legacy games. So we prepared a really well done operation for the release of the Legacy game. We have the designer of the game, we have the artwork person for the game, we have demos of the game, and the game is sold out. And this is our sold out Essen. We are very proud. Everybody loves the game. People are buying it like crazy. And Marek, if you can find the picture with Rafał presenting the game on the banner, because it's a very interesting thing, and I know that we have such a photos. to explain you how we were preparing the demos of the game, knowing, yep, you see that, yep. So here you see Rafał Szyma, my employee, explaining the game in front of the banner. So that was our way to hack the system, because there's so many people at Essen who say, I don't have much time, can you tell me about this game in a few words? Because they want to visit different booths and they are not ready for the whole demo. And we figured out that we can do this, and we printed the banner, like a big banner with all the components, and the middle of the game, like this is middle of the game on this banner presented, and our employee can explain this game in a very short explanation, a few words, like this is the board, this is the cards, you are going to do marriages, this is your kids, you marry this person, and it was like a 3-minute speech, 3-minute sales speech about the game on a pre-constructed situation printed on the board. It worked very well for us. It was very successful, and that's why Legacy was sold out at the show, because we were able to very efficiently present the game to the customers, and I'm very proud of this hacking the system solution. Legacy is fun, but such a table hog. Yes, this game takes the whole table, that's for sure. Never played Legacy and Theseus. Shame on me, that is true, Patrick. Shame on you. Hi guys, I just pop up in for a moment to say hi and go back to the students. Normal music school day. Do some good music today. And Eric says, Legacy, you build a family tree. It is serious, but we always laugh. Exactly, this is a very fun game. Doing all these marriages and good-looking and not good-looking men on the illustrations. The artwork made this game amazing. Legacy was sold out, it was very successful, but Theseus not so much. Theseus was very difficult, and after the first day I got feedback from the volunteers that people are playing Theseus and understand no shit. Like the game is too complex, too difficult. People are playing and saying, okay, and they're leaving the table, not buying. And we were terrified. We were very sad. And over the next days, we saw that the Legacy is a hit. The Legacy is selling, and Theseus, we will have this Theseus, and we will have to get back with it to home. So Theseus was not very successful for us back then. And that year, if Marek can find the picture, he will show you. That year at Essen, we started a Kickstarter campaign for my first book, Board Games That Tell Stories. Let me grab the book. Oh. This is the book. By the way, you can buy this book at our booth today as well, so you can have a nice memory from the show. And this book tells a ton of stories like this. Like I'm a storyteller, so I'm telling stories about designing games and my adventures at conventions, etc., etc. So, oh yes, this one. And at Essen and this Essen, we started the Kickstarter campaign. The idea was that at the booth we will promote the Kickstarter campaign. At the booth we will have a banner showing the Kickstarter campaign, and we'll try to make a buzz and hype for the campaign. So it started the first day of the Essen. That was on one hand a great idea, on the other terrible idea, because we got funded during the first few hours, and me being at the show, being very busy running the booth and running the demos, and I had to come with the stretch goals and manage the campaign. That was a very stupid idea. But on the other hand, the fact that I was at Essen saved my ass. Let me explain. I didn't expect this campaign to be very successful. I just wanted to try. So I said, I will try Kickstarter for my book. After a few hours, the campaign was funded. After the first day, all the stretch goals I got prepared were funded. And we are in the situation that the campaign just started. We have no stretch goals prepared, and people are expecting more content, more interesting things. But because I was at Essen, I started running around the halls, meeting my friend designers, and begging them for help, and begging them for writing a piece to my book. So that's why in this book is twice as thick as I was planning that, because Stretch goals were done very, very quickly, but I was at Essen. I was there, and all these friends designers were with me. So I managed to convince and let me list the people I grabbed at Essen and begged for the help. Antua Bauza, Frank Schulte-Kulkmann, the famous reviewer, Jeff Engelstein, Bruno Catala, Rustan Hackinson, Seji Kanai, Mike Selinker, Rob Daviu, Brad Tolton, Vlanach Fatil. So I was running all around the places and telling them, hey guys, I have a Kickstarter campaign. It blew like crazy. I have no stretch goals. Please, 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 can you write an article for my book? Please, please, please. Of course, they were agreeing for that. They were saying, okay, Ignacy, I will write article for your book, no worries. And I was able to unlock the next stretch goals. If not Essen, I have no idea what I would do. So, and Darren says, this book was my first ever Kickstarter. I appreciate that. So you remember that times when I was making updates and I had no clue what to do because there was so many backers, and I was so grateful. So Boarding the Stories, I strongly recommend to check it out. Very fun stories about my designs, my adventures in publishing. And that was my story about the running Kickstarter along with Essen. Do we have any pictures or movies or anything else to show to our fans?
A lot of pictures.
Okay.
Look.
What is that?
Empty table.
Empty table. So this is that. Oh, this is the team. As you can see, red shirts is my employees, and in a white shirt you can see Michael Hendricks and the rest of the team. So that was the team behind the Essen 2013. We go to 2014, or you have something more?
Maybe one photo. Correct.
This is Mateusz Bielski. This is the illustrator for a legacy game. Super talented guy, very intelligent, great, and he was with us for the whole show. He was running demos, he was signing boxes, he was drawing pictures. A blast for us. Okay, so let's move to the 2014. Ignacy is a king of long t-shirt and short t-shirt combo. There's a good point, and let me explain that. So at the conventions, to promote the company, to promote the booth, to promote the brand, every single year we have dedicated t-shirts. You can now see the t-shirts from 2014. You will see the moment then. T-shirts from 2014, green, very bright, with the big name Imperial Setters. So we can promote the brand, we can promote the release. Everybody knows that we are volunteers. But Ignacy is person who, it's always cold for me. I always need something warm. I don't like cold. So I don't wear t-shirts because it's too cold for me. So I need to have a long shirt, and then I do branding on myself. So it looks crazy, but I don't care. 2014, Imperial Setters. And although I told you that in 2009 we felt that we have a success with Stronghold and everybody was talking about the game, and I told you that in 2012 we had a huge success with Robinson Crusoe and a huge hype, and the game was sold out, and we were so proud. 2014 is a madness. We are in the next, another space because of the renovation of the halls. So once again, we have to move to the new space, and we have Imperial Setters, and this is for the first time that we released the game earlier at Gen Con. The hype from the Gen Con, the good reviews from the Gen Con, the craziness from the Gen Con influences the Europe. And when we arrive to Essen, we don't believe what's happening. It's like crazy, and we are sold out after first day. It's madness, it's getting crazy. Everybody wants to buy this game, and it was one of the most insane shows for us in terms of how many people were approaching our booth and checking the game. Imperial Setters has a story behind, and the release of the Essen has a story behind, and let me tell you about this story. So we printed print run of Imperial Setters, and we divided it into half. Half of the print run was shipped to America for Gen Con and American distributors, and half of the print run was kept for Europe, for Essen and European distributors. Because the game exploded at Gen Con, was so popular, and distributors were begging for next bunch, next print run, next copies, so we decided for the very, very risky move. And late August, few weeks before Essen, we decided to ship all the copies of Imperial Setters we had stored for Essen, ship them to America, and we begged the manufacturer, please make it happen, please print in time Imperial Setters for Essen. As you know, we made it, they made it, we were very happy, but that was another year with a ton of stress and us risking that we will go for the show without the games, because it was just a few days margin to make it. But we made it, and we made the chance that the Imperial Setters, the all print run went for America, and we managed to make a special print run for Europe for Essen in time, and it was amazing. 2014 is a year. I don't know if you have a picture with me signing games. There was this, there was a very famous picture of the huge long line of fans of me asking for signing Imperial Setters box, and for the first time I felt like okay, this is huge, this is epic. And before 2000, till this moment, till this Essen, till 2014, every time I was signing a box at the conventions, I always did a chit chat with the person. I was asking them which country they are from, which city they are from, which games they play, what games they bought at the show, and I was drawing them dedicated, unique signature with the cow, and most likely with a funny comment about this person after this chit chat. So I was in the real time in this 2 or 3 minute chit chat with the fan, coming up with a funny joke based on the conversation. So everybody has dedicated cow signature in their box. So all of you who have my game signed from 2012, 13, 14, you should have unique signatures. And in 2014, Essen, the line was so huge, and I was chit-chatting with everybody and coming up with these jokes, and my team approached me and said, Ignacy, stop it. Signed and next, signed and next, signed and next. Look at the line, there's a dozen of people waiting. You cannot chit-chat with everybody. It's too many people, too many fans, too many boxes sold. Faster, faster, faster. People are waiting. I tried to pull it off, and most of you who met me at Essen 2014 has a unique cow signature. I did my best to come up with this funny joke about you in your box, but since that Essen I was not able to do it anymore. Too many fans, too many signatures, too long lines, and now I always try to write something funny, but these are like pre-constructed jokes I have prepared. So this is always very honest. It is always my signature, but I have no longer time to chit chat with you because the lines are too long. So that was 2014. My change in approach to signing boxes because too many fans. We also hacked the system, and because there was so many people wanting to play the game, and we had only small booth. We started to create demo tables built from the boxes, covered with the carpet, and it was like a underdog at its best. We were just building fake tables. We were putting them a game, and we were doing the demos without having actual table, without having actual space for that. Guerrilla marketing, guerrilla demos, crazy times. 2014 was the last year for us when we sold out the whole print run. Very successful for us, a great show. from the next years, the portal games grew enough that we had our distribution well set, that the people were knowing that they can buy these games later at the stores. So 2014 is the last moment when we are this independent underdog publisher that everybody knows that they must buy the game at the show because this small publisher doesn't have distribution. Since 2015, 16, 17, we go to the show to promote the product, but you guys know that you can buy this product later at your local game store because finally Portal Games established very good distribution in Europe. I must have been early in the line as I chat to you for a bit. So Darren confirms that I was back then chit-chatting with fans. I did not realize that the tables were boxes. There was so many people there. Great success. We were doing underdog policy back then, and it worked, and it worked very well for us. We have Mary and Tom. Mary loves to take picture with somebody who is famous, like Ignacy or like Tom. Great times. We moved to 2015. 2015 Rattle Battle Grab the Loot. I remember no shit from this show.
Really?
Seriously, nothing. I remember one thing. I remember training volunteers and teaching them how to present the game because the game is very specific. You need to make a good demo to show the craziness of the game, to drop the dice, to make these things. But basically, this is the game. The game has a blue box. Oh yes, you see that. Rattle Battle Grab the Loot. But I don't remember how the booth looked like. I don't remember what I was doing during this booth. Like nothing. So if you have any memories, let me know. I think we had a bigger version of the game at the show, like you know,
Something, yeah.
XXL version with a bigger dice. I think there was something like that. But I remember no shit from this show. I don't know anything. Rattle Battle was not a success whatsoever for us. Nobody likes this game except me and Captain Eric Link. Great production value, great game. Didn't make any splash, any success, and I guess it was sad Essen for us. I guess we were not sold out. I guess it was a terrible Essen for us. So no memories. I don't know what happened at Essen 2015. Maybe you remember. This Essen you had the expansion for Imperial Setters, I think.
Atlanteans.
That probably would be Atlanteans. That's for sure. Atlanteans and Rattle Battle Grab the Loot, two water products, but no stories from Ignacy for 2015.
For sure, you're signing some boxes.
I was signing boxes, that's for sure. 2000.
I have one more photo. That one.
Yep. 2000. Rico says looked great, played not as classic Portal game. Yep, that was a big problem that you guys love Portal games for these storytelling, meaty gamers games, and Rattle Battle is just a party game. And you were confused, you didn't know what to expect, you didn't understand why Ignacy created a board game that is a party game, and why this party game is so expensive, and that was basically a disaster. Well, we learned. Let's move to 2016. And you will do some, yes, pictures. 2016, we move to the hall number 3, the most epic hall in the whole Essen, and it changes everything for us, for the company, for the look of the company, for the presentation of the company, for branding of the company. Suddenly, we go from this independent publishers league to the major publishers, major publisher league, the first league. We ended up in this hall quite accidentally. and I will not tell this story because that's crazy story. I will tell it maybe one day in 10 years. But we made it. We made it to this hall. We went for the very big booth. We went for the very epic construction of the booth, and epic big construction. And we were there with Cry Havoc. Cry Havoc, our release back then, it was very successful in America, and we came to Essen once again with this amazing game that already has this huge hype from America. Back then, 2016, we also started Portal Games Germany, Portal Games Deutschland, so we also had the 51st State German edition. We had the Crazy Cars released back then, and this is the first year when we have a ton of volunteers, because the booth is so huge. We need to have a team of volunteers. We have a quite complicated system how to manage that. For the first time, we meet being with us today Patrick from Germany, and after like 10 seconds of interaction with Patrick, I fell in love with him because he has the same energy like me, or probably even bigger energy than me. So I immediately loved him. He was running demos on 3 tables at once, and this is the way I love to do this. Like he was able to explain the game here and helping this table and chatting with me and chatting with the fans and making some fun comments. He was like owning the show, owning the German side of the booth, and we became friends. He is now our volunteers forever, and he's amazing. And Patrick, and 2016 is this the year with Jeff?
Yeah.
So this is the year that I laughed the most in my life. And situation is like that. And it's probably Saturday. We are all very tired. We are at the backstage of the booth. Jeff was our volunteer from America. Oh, you see the Jeff. Jeff was a volunteer from America who flight to Essen. It was his birthday gift from his wife. She offered him a trip to Essen, and he said, if I'm coming to Essen, I'm going to be a volunteer for Ignacy. This is how he decided to spend his birthday gift. So he was with us explaining Cry Havoc. It's Saturday, we are all very tired. Jeff is in the backstage, and he's complaining on German players. And Jeff has this amazing skill of complaining in a very funny way. And of course, I cannot show it how it is, but it is very funny. And at backstage, Patrick shows up. He hears Jeff complaining on German players. Jeff says, "I know, Patrick, you are from Germany. Don't get offended, but these guys," and still he complaining. And Patrick fires up and he goes like, "German players, oh my God, they are disasters!" And he starts a monologue complaining about German players. This is like 3 or 5 minutes of my life that I laughed the most in my life. Jeff complaining and Patrick complaining on players, mimicking them, making noises, making sounds like them, making funny comments about them. If I have this recorded, if I have this 3 minutes recorded, my YouTube channel would have now 1 million subscribers. Like that would be the most viral thing ever happened in board games industry. We didn't record that. It just stayed with me. The hardest I laughed in my life was Essen 2016, and Patrick and Jeff complaining on German players. Very fun moment. And when I'm when I'm dying, when there's a last moment of my life, and somebody will ask me, "What do you regret in your life?" I will say, I regret I didn't record this moment, because that was the funniest moment of my life. I have a story, because we need to finish in 10 minutes, because I have another interview. But I have one more story, and this is a story to match perfectly the moment we are in the seminar. So 2016, Portal Games moves to this hall number 3, the most epic, prestigious hall in the Essen. We have this epic booth for the first time, professional booth. We are no longer underdogs. We are no longer independent company. We are the Portal Games at the Essen. So I decided I need to finally meet the owners of Essen, the directors of the Essen, that I need finally to introduce myself, to present myself not longer as an underdog, but as a professional company from Poland who wants to be at Essen every single year in this space. So I sent an email before Essen that I want to schedule the meeting with Mrs. Dominik Metzler, the owner of Essen Spiel. And we scheduled a meeting, very important for me to present the company in the right way. Because I was a bit scared that I will do something stupid, guys, you know me. So I asked my wife Mary to go with me, to keep me, you know, in check, so I can behave well and professional, and I can do a well done presentation of the company. And we go to the Essen booth. We ask if Mrs. Dominik is ready because we have a meeting with her. The secretary said that Mrs. Dominik is not here yet, but she offers us a table, she offers us a tea, coffee. She sits with us, we chit chat, we wait for Mrs. Dominik to come. I'm a terrible chit chatter. Like, I cannot chit chat. Like, this is not for me. But luckily, I have Mary, my wife, with me. So she is doing this chit chat with this secretary, and they are talking, and minutes are passing. This is 10 minutes after the schedule. This is 15 minutes after the schedule. The secretary feels awkward. She's calling, but she cannot reach Mrs. Dominik. So we are waiting. 20 minutes passed. We are waiting. Half an hour passed. This is the most weird situation we ever been. It's very awkward. The secretary is feeling very awkward because we are waiting for Mrs. Dominik. Mrs. Dominik is not here. We feel very awkward because I was prepared to meet with the Mrs. Dominik, and we are waiting for her for half an hour. We are pretending to chit chat. We are pretending that everything is fine, but everybody feels the awkwardness of the situation. It's terrible. After 45 minutes, the most awkward meeting I ever had in my life, I say, we need to go because I have another meeting, so very sorry. The secretary is apologizing us very warmly that she doesn't know what's happened, why Mrs. Dominik is not here. I say, no worries, it happens. We know that some schedules are missed here at the Essen because of the business of the convention, so no worries, no problem. We will follow up in the emails, and we will discuss with Mrs. Dominik in the email, so no worries, I understand. And I leave the meeting with Mary. That sucked. It was a terrible meeting. I go very angry to our booth. I check with my team. I ask my team, it's 3 p.m. now, what I have now on schedule. They say, Ignacy, now you have a meeting with Mrs. Dominik Metzler from Essen. I say, I just finished the meeting with Dominik Metzler. What I have now at 3 p.m. They say, at 3 p.m. you have a meeting with Mrs. Dominik Metzler. I say, so what I had on 2 p.m., my team says at 2 p.m. you had a lunch break. You wanted to have a lunch break at 2 p.m. and Mrs. Dominik Metzler at 3 p.m. So I look at my calendar, I look at my wife, I look at myself, and I say, I'm stupid. That was my first meeting with Dominik Metzler. I haven't met her. I met her next years, and we became industry friends, and I believe we have the same vibes and understanding of board games industry and the life in general. And now it's much easier for me to meet with Mrs. Dominik Metzler. But back then, that was terrible. There was a meeting that didn't happen. So this is my memory of 2016. The most important meeting I had at Essen. It didn't happen because I cannot do the schedules. Guys, we have to finish. We have to finish because I have to run to another meetings. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for being here. I see lots of faces I know from the Spiel. I see Roger, I see Patrick and James. So thank you for being with me today. Now we take a half an hour break. Then at noon, Janna Kijanka is talking about Robinson Crusoe Book of Adventures, our upcoming Kickstarter that will happen in February. And then At 1 p.m., what we have at 1 p.m., I'm presenting the future of Detective Line. So if you're a fan of Detective, be with me. I will be discussing Vienna Connection and other projects. And then we have an epic Q&A with me and John Nakijenka. So we'll be chatting and making fun and jokes. And then more and more and more. So stay with us the whole day on this YouTube channel, on this Facebook channel, on this Twitch channel. Give us a like, give us subscribe. Tell your friend that Portal Games is streaming the whole day for you. We are here for you. And thank you for being with me. Stay well.